Yo, such one for back with another not a reaction. I'm so used to just saying that phrase, but now back with another video. And from the fact that there's no intro, it's one of those videos where I'm literally just talking to the camera for a little bit. Yeah, man, I think the inspiration to this video was I got this bracelet replaced. I got this bracelet about a month or two ago. Same with this ring, which I'm sure you've clocked in videos by now. But the bracelet you might not have seen because fairly shortly after getting it, it got damaged. But like I was firm in the damage though. Like I think you might have seen it because I was wearing it in videos for a bit. But then I had an accident where I fell off a scooter. Because here in Nottingham, if you go uni here, if you live here, you know that those scooters are everywhere. Like it's like the best way to get around, and I love them. So but I had an accident on one of them where I tried to mount the pavement where I thought it was flat. It wasn't. I just ran into a curb, got sent flying, and I landed on my left side, and the bracelet just snapped. So I finally went and got it replaced today. I thought that they had a return policy where you can get a replacement if there is a damage within a year, and they did. And as I went in today, I was literally just talking to the cashier that was like handling the situation, and one of their employees just walks in from the back. He's like, "Are you Saatchi?" I was like, "Yeah." "Where do you know me from?" There, he said, "YouTube." I was like, "Oh, love for that, love for that." Because I always have to ask people, because like back in Cov, it was always TikTok. Like, "Oh, you the guy from TikTok?" Like, and it's like I get it because a lot of my videos were on the For You page back then, like a lot. But now, like I've always made it very, very clear on like all my socials that like I'm a YouTuber first. Like I don't really post on TikTok like that. And like whenever people hear me say that, they always scowl or scoff. They're like, yeah. But I'm like, fam, if you look at my screen time, I don't use TikTok. I'm a YouTuber, but now I'm a content creator. That's what I'm gonna start calling it. Because I guess by default, technically now I am a TikToker as well. Probably more people will probably know me from there, because I think I've got like 1.8 million likes alone on TikTok, which is I don't know how many views, but obviously that's as at least the same amount of views as well. But now the way that the app works is probably, I've never sat down to count, but like yeah, it's in like the 3, I don't know how many. I don't know. All I know is YouTube views. We hit 6 million the other day. I was just checking it randomly. 6 million, which is nuts. I'm sure that will partly explain the rise in people like recognizing me out and about. But now, like back in Coventry, like last year at uni, that never happened. Like I can probably count like 5 times people caught me from YouTube. Like it was rare, but like now, like I'd say the ratio is like 70-30 at YouTube to TikTok, and it just made me much happier. It feels like my work's getting appreciated, and I feel like that's kind of like the gist of this video. Like I feel like for whatever reason, obviously you lot know I'm a Christian, by God's grace, which is what my government name means in Luganda. Although you lot probably are still a few years away from finding out or not. But nah, in all seriousness, by God's grace, for whatever reason, because views wise and like numbers wise, like nothing's really changed this year. It's been quite a slow, steady year of just slow growth, but slow growth. But it's like, fam, I've just come to a point where like I just feel like a YouTuber now, like a content creator now. Like it just feels like something I just am. Whereas before it felt like something I did. Now it's more of an identity. Like when people ask me like, what do you do? The first thing I say is I'm a content creator. And I say it with pride now. Like, yeah, man, like that's what I do. Like that's what I always want to do. I've always wanted to do. And it's like I'm living out effectively my childhood dream. I just don't really deep it. But then I look at my lock screen and it's a picture of me and Heady One, and it's like, wow. Like I don't really sit down and deep life enough. And I feel like that's what this video is. Because like with me, I was thinking yesterday, like my son in the future is going to have an entire archive of video footage of his father as a kid, which is nuts. Like obviously we've grown up with pictures of our parents when they were younger. And like I've seen my mum's baby pictures, and it's just mad weird to think that like that baby is my mum. Like it's just a weird thing to wrap your head around. But it's like I'm sat here and I'm just deep in that. My son, Saatchi Jr., is just gonna be like, anytime he gets bored, he can just watch all these videos, and like, yeah, that's something that like, yeah, it's just something I think about. It's just nuts. And yeah, I guess yeah, when I think about all these things that are going on, and I think about like just 2 years ago where I was, if you told 17-year-old me, just fresh out of coming out the booth, about to diss walks, and that song actually, like, that did a lot for the channel as well. Like, that really contributed to the growth. 2020 summer was a beautiful time to be me. I can't lie, fam. The growth on the channel was nuts. That's where I'm sure a lot of you are from. And yeah, man, like, now when I deep what's happened this year, it's like, yeah, like I said earlier, like numbers wise, nothing's really changed too much. But yeah, by God's grace, for whatever reason, I've clocked that it's not about how many people are seeing it, it's about who's seeing it. And I've been taught this year some important people apparently have been watching. So yeah, man, it's nuts. It's just nuts. So yeah, this is just literally just me kind of having like a yearly rundown. So from January, yeah, man, as you lot will know, or no, you don't know, but yeah, so when I left Cov, I'll do a video on it at some point when I feel like it. I'm still kind of not really feeling to do a video on that situation just yet, but I'm sure a lot of you will remember back when I was posting a lot on the community tab. I haven't posted a whole lot this year, so if you scroll up, you can probably still find it. When I was saying like life is just peak right now, like yeah, Coventry was just giving me a very hard time from January to March. And I remember January, so I came back from uni, and yeah, the uni was just bare pestering me, and it's like, yeah, life was really rough. I can't lie, life was peak. Only thing keeping me happy was SFE dropping in my account, fam. Like back then, there wasn't too much to smile about. Shout out my nigga Tux, shout out my nigga Clyde. Those two, shout out my nigga TS. Those three, really and truly, were keeping me going. And all my other boys from Cov, but like those three mainly were keeping me going, fam. Like I can't lie, life got peak. And in February, March, and then yeah, it just got to the point where I was like, I can't lie, I don't like being in this place, so I cut. And yeah, that takes us to April. So I'm at home at this point, and I'm thinking, do I even want to go back to uni? Like, I kind of can't be arsed. I was very surprised by how quickly I just kind of dismissed the thought of just ever being a lawyer. Like I wouldn't say it was a childhood dream, but it kind of was. Like I feel like growing up, I'd always mentioned a desire to pursue that profession. So when I was at Cov doing law, it's like I was literally living out my dream, and like it felt like it. Every lecture I was like, yo, like, because I understood a lot of it, and it was weird. It was like, yeah, this feels right. Like it felt right. And so when I got home and I just wasn't thinking about how I'm gonna get back into it, it was a kind of a wake up call. Like, all right, cool. Is this really what you really want to do? Because it doesn't seem like you're fighting that hard to do it. However, what I was fighting hard to do was content creation. As you lot will know, I don't know how many of you were here from back then, but yeah, I mean, this channel started for real in 2018, around August the 3rd, I think was the first video uploaded to this channel. That's up. Although if you go watch that video, it's about how my old videos aren't here anymore because I just deleted them all in a fit of rage, and I should have privated them. But it's because of the way I wanted them down, and like the way I was thinking, where my mind was at that time. I just wanted them gone. I wasn't thinking of preserving them at all. I just wanted them gone, so I deleted them. But yeah, I was 15 when I restarted this channel. Like this current run we're on of videos, dating back from the very first of what is now over 1,000, which is nuts. That's what I've done over 1,000 videos. That is very crazy. I'm not even 20 yet. I'm 20 in 2 weeks. In like two weeks to the day, I'm 20 years old, which is kind of why I want to do this video now. This is like the last time as a teenager where I'm going to be recording a video, just kind of documenting how life has been. Still don't really know what I'm going to title this video. But yeah, I guess I'll probably call it something like I'm 20 in 2 weeks, and I'm just kind of just thinking about life, to be honest. Because yeah, like I said, so I was just thinking about content creation. I've been doing it since 15, but I'd never really gotten a chance to just like focus on it. Like I'd always been doing either GCSEs and then A levels and then uni. Like I was never just a YouTuber. So this time out of uni was the first time where I just got to be a YouTuber. I was no longer a student. I was just a content creator. And it felt really freeing. It felt very freeing. It was nuts. Every day I woke up just smiling for no reason. Like nothing would have happened. I wouldn't even remember what dream I had. Like there was literally zero reason to be so jovial. I was moving like SpongeBob, fam. You see how SpongeBob just wakes up, starts greeting his neighbours when they're just trying to sleep. Squidward was just there trying to catch some Z's, and SpongeBob was like, Squidward, I'm ready. Like fam, who asked, fam? Just bare happy for no reason. But yeah, it was just a very crazy experience. Like nothing actually happened, but just the feeling just felt great. I remember I was recording videos and I was really busying myself with content. Like I really had a plan to just completely fill up my time with content. Now that I didn't have education to think about, and it was kind of a look into what life will be post uni. But I feel like post uni will be different because by then I'll be breaded. I'll probably get my own place at some point, and I'll be able to really invest into this. Like the only way I've really been able to invest at the moment, I bought myself the iPhone 11 back in 2020 and the ring light, which is the reason my face looks bright. Those are really the only two investments. And I guess you could stretch it and say the camera I got with the PS5, but I guess you could argue that. But those are the really only investments I've ever really brought to this channel. But when I'm older, because like I said, I mean, I've thought about this for time. Like, in theory, you lot aren't going anywhere. I said theory, not serious. I'm sharp. Anyways, in theory,
what can I do for you?
Nothing. Anyway, as I was saying, Ed, as I was saying, you could argue that I could really do this for you. So I had to rephrase what I said. You could argue that instead of saying 2 words. Anyways, you could argue that, you guys aren't going anywhere. Music's not going anywhere. So there's always going to be the audience and the content is always going to be there for me to do. So I can definitely just do this forever, I guess. So I definitely want to invest in it regardless of where I end up after uni. And that's something I'll definitely consider. But back in March, it was just something, no, really April. It was April, not March. I was still at uni in March. It was April. I just got to think about what it was like for me to focus on content now as opposed to when it's now become convenient. And it was just mad freeing. I remember I was doing, because with me, what I've clocked is my problem is I have a lot of good ideas here, like a lot of good ideas, but I just don't have the time. Like, whether it's uni or work now, I work at JD now here in Nottingham. So if you're ever here in Nottingham, go to JD, you'll probably see me there. A few of you already have. That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know what's happened, but like people clocking me from YouTube way more nowadays. Literally my very first shift, but I couldn't even last one shift. My very first shift, someone just comes up to me and says, "I swear I've seen you before." I was like, "You told me." Maybe like Sherlock Holmes. But now, in all seriousness, and I was just making a lot of content ideas, but I didn't have the time to do them all. And then not too long after that, my family were just telling me, "I can't lie, bro. Look at unis." I was like, fam, I really don't want to do this, but alright, cool. And now I'm here doing media, but I've missed out something important. So the reason I wanted to do this video is like a round off. That's gymnastics. I could do a round off though, but that's not what we're talking about now. A round up of how this year's been. So literally within a week, because I literally checked the dates the other day, within a week of leaving Cov, I get a call from Cord. They're like, "Yo, we're filming a video to Digger's album. We want you to come down and be part of it." And I remember I was on the phone to my pastor from church when I got that DM. And it just felt like a sign from God. Like, what do you mean? I'm on the phone to my literal pastor, fam. Like, this is the reverend of my church speaking. And as I check the notifications, I'm seeing this. And it's like, I said to him, I was like, "Yo." And he got gas for me. I was like, "Yo. This is the kind of stuff I've been talking about." Because I was literally, when I was on the phone to him, I was literally saying all I've been saying for the last 2 minutes. Like, I want to do content, but I've never had the time to. And like, now I get to finally focus on it. Let me just see where it goes. And I guess it took me to South London where I went to record with Cord. And it was great. I was seeing people I've been talking to on Twitter for time. Mimi was there. Alex Bash was there. Reload it. He was there. That's the same guy, Alex. He was there. I've even forgotten everyone who was there on that first shoot. But I remember it was those two mainly. I really hope I'm not missing anyone. Can't remember. It was a while ago. But who, like, because Mimi, I'd been interacting with Mimi on Twitter for like years by this point. And it was just mad weird to just be in the room with these people that like I really respect. Like, there were loads of like music industry people, music related personalities, that's the right phrase, in the room. And it's like, it kind of made me clock that like, if I'm here, then that means that like whatever I'm doing, I must be doing something right to be in the same room as these lot. And I remember I gained a lot of confidence that day. Not that you lot don't already know that I'm a very confident person. And to be honest, I would really advise, if you're, I can't say if you're shy, just be confident. That's not how it works. But like, nah, definitely, if you want to become more confident, just look into it. Because I feel like confidence is the most powerful trait a human can have. That's why I'm so proud about being confident. Like, I don't feel like it's something you should be shy about, no pun intended. But yeah, it's something you should be happy and proud about if you are. And I always have been. But I mean confidence in my identity as a content creator, which is what this video started off as. I gained a lot of it in that room that day, and I mean, after that, these opportunities just kept coming up. So after that, I remember, I'm trying to remember it in chronological order. So I remember, so this is summer now. So there hasn't even been bears, but like for me and for my personal life and like my journey as believing my identity as a content creator, like this year's has been huge for that. I was just at the barbershop one day, minding my business. I get another call from Cord. They're like, yo, we're shooting a show for Lowski's fans. We want you to come down and be on the guest list. I was like, yes, say nothing. But it was literally on the same day at like 7. So, and this was around 1. So I had to make up my mind, like, am I going? And I remember I wasn't even going to go. I remember I was kind of like, do I go? Like, it's mad last minute. Like, I don't know if I can be bothered. Like, this is just throwing away all my plans for today. I mean, let me check my plans. Okay, so I've got no plans, but like, this is getting in the way of my plans for today. Like, fam, like, nah, let me go. I remember I was just like to myself, I can't lie, what's the worst that could happen? It's just the commute into London just felt like a drag at the time. That's all it was. And I was like, can I be bothered to commute? But I was like, you know what? It's not the end of the world. I get there, the show was live. I'm on stage with him. Afterwards, we're talking, everyone's getting pictures of him. And he's like, hey, I know you. I was like, hmm? He's like, what is, I can't remember word for word what he said initially, but I remember he was like, oh yeah, I know Miz is your favourite Spartan, but you love PS too much. I was like, in my head, I was like, Lowski knows who I am. I remember just there like, this guy's done his homework, fam. Like, fair enough. But like, that made me clock that, like, yo, okay, like, it's one thing to like suspect that they probably might watch your reactions to their songs, but like, there's no evidence of that. Well, there was my evidence. And it was just a very crazy feeling, like, yo, like, I've been listening to this guy's music, you know, like from school. I mean, DJ Khaled, I mean, I don't really need to say much more. It's one of my very favourite drill songs ever. Not just drill songs, but just songs of all time. And half of the song knows who I am. It's just nuts. So yeah, I remember after that, I gained even more confidence. I was like, okay, cool. So clearly the right people are watching. It's not about the numbers, it's about who's watching it. You can have 1 million views and nothing will happen as a result of the video. You can get like 500 views and like the artist himself is one of them. You just never know. So after that, I clocked that, yo, let me just keep going hard at this and let's just see what happens, because clearly I'm doing something right. So after that, that was it for the summer. So I remember, yeah, and it was just mad surreal because I was just working the whole summer, but then when I wasn't, these events just happened and it's like, okay. And then on the train back, I was like, oh, I have to return to my normal life now. But like, yeah, that's where my identity as a content creator like fully began to form. Like, it became a thing where I was like, all right, cool. This isn't so much something I do, but now it's something I am. Like, people, when they see me in the street, that's who they see me as, the content creator, either the TikToker or the YouTuber or the guy from Twitter. And that happened a lot in COV. And sometimes it would be awkward. Even now, to be honest, it still happens sometimes. Sometimes it could be awkward. Sometimes I just start creasing. Like, of all the things I've done in my life, why is it Twitter that you know me from? Like, I haven't been grinding on YouTube for years. But you know what? Fair enough. Because to be fair, I'm very active on Twitter. But I didn't realize, like, apparently my tweets come up bears. And, like, I've kind of clocked lately that, like, yeah, my tweets can get decent likes if it's, like, a funny tweet or whatever. But, like, nah. But I've been told, like, I'm definitely not the face of UK Twitter. But, like, people have tried to say that. I was like, chill. Let's calm down a little bit. But, yeah, so back to the story. So, yeah, that was pretty much it for summer. But now we go to when I started in Knots. September was quiet, I want to say. I think it was mainly I was just doing videos, the odd video here and there. But nah, it was in October last month. No, it wasn't last month. Fam, I keep forgetting that we're in December. It was in October. This year's gone so quick. But it was in October where, yeah, life got busy. So in chronological order, there was a 2 week period where I went back to London. I say back, I'm not from London, but I went down to London 4 times in the span of 14 days. So I remember chronological order. So oh yeah, I forgot about that. So yeah, like I said, I was just minding my business one day. That's what happens a lot of the time. I'm just minding my business and then something nuts will just enter my DMs. Minding my business, I get a message from Mixtape Madness. They're like, yo, even saying it now on camera is nuts. Like, I don't really deep what's going on, but I get a message from Mixtape. They're like, yo, we're filming a new show. We want you to be involved. I was like, say no more. Book the ticket to go London. I get there. Flashy's there. Billy's there. It was just a great day in general. Yeah, fam, just listening to Rimsey's tape, and he comes back into the story later. But yeah, man, we got to meet him. That was dope, and they put me on because I'd been hearing the name Rimsey for a minute. Shout out my friend Nina. She's been telling me about Rimsey for a minute. But I'd never really listened to his music like that, so that's why I was excited to go because I love getting put onto new artists. I just don't really have the time to like sit there and like take in their music the way I want to, because obviously with what I do, I like to take in music in a specific way. If it's not on camera, then I really want to listen to this and clock what I'm listening to. Like yesterday, I was with my boy TS and fam, we're literally just listening to Funky Friday by Dave and Fredo. And like we're clocking new bars. Like when I actually sit down and listen to music, then that's when I hear it. But like unless I specifically sit down to listen to it, I'm just not really gonna appreciate the song. Like there was one lyric where Fredo was like, when me and my wife are cutting through whatever, one hand on my, she's gripping my dip, I'm gripping her waist or something like that. And it's like he flipped Dave's bar where he's like, one hand on the cash I'm making, one hand on the girl I'm dating. And it's like, I only clocked that because I'm focusing on what I'm hearing. Like when I focus, I will hear everything. I mean, you lot don't need to be told that. Although some of you lot would disagree and say, regardless of me focusing, you're still in the comments telling me what I missed. But that's the fun of doing reactions. We'll never catch everything. Which is why I regret not doing the Meeks reaction, because I mean, it's a daily doppy. You kind of can't catch it. So it just would have been a fun reaction to do. But nah, I just thought it's just been a long time. Like the requests for this aren't as strong as they were at the time. Let me just listen to this in my free time. But yeah, man, literally got on the train to go to Mixtape, came back, and that's what I'm saying. Like the train back, it's like, oh, now I have to return to my normal. I feel like Spider-Man, fam. Like, he'll be out and about catching criminals and that, and then he goes home and he's just eating supper with Aunt May. It's like, man said, this is my life, but this is also my life. Like, it's just weird. And like, I'll be on the train back to Knots, just deep in. I've got assignments, G. Like, literally, chronological order. So, Wednesday, I went down to shoot with Mixtape. Sunday, Chord called me back. The same week, Chord called me back for the Lil Baby album reaction. That one dragged. Like, the album was... I'm just happy I've seen American guys saying the same thing. Like, let's just say it wasn't a contender for album of the year. I like Waterfall Flow. I do still listen to that a lot, to be fair. Like, it's Lil Baby. He's not going to drop 23 songs and none of them slap. Like, you just have to pick out your favourite. Waterfall Flow and everything. Pop Out as well. That's what I took from that album. Point being, yeah, that shoot dragged. I remember, shout out my boy Kamzo. But yeah, like, even Kamzo, he was running PR for Lil Baby. Like, everyone just got tired by the end of it, fam. Like, it just dragged. And then Thursday, I had to go to London to get a suit. Because on Sunday, I went to the GRM Awards. And it's like, fam, like, what even is life right now? Like, because that's what I'm saying. Like, the journey back, and that one was a coach. Pardon me. You lot saw the vlog, if you have seen the vlog. Fam, it was a long journey back. And I was just sat there, sleeping deep in that, I'm just returning to my boring uni life now. And then, yeah, that was that 2 week period. And I believe that is it. in terms of all these content opportunities that have arisen this year, I guess I'm missing the obvious though. The biggest one of all, when I was invited, mind you, personally invited, because that's what I haven't really deeped. I was personally invited by management, no less, to go to the studio to meet Headie One. Like, fam, nuts. Like, my boy Anto knows, we, not even just me, we have been rating him for time. Like, to the point where I was enough of a fan when both came out in 2019 that, like, when it came onto the radio for the first time, I started tearing up with pride. Like, I felt so happy for him. Like, there's PS, there's Unknown T, there's LD, there's Miz, of course. And then for me, fam, like, in terms of my favourites, not necessarily the best, but these are some of, if not the very best in the genre anyways, which is why I like them so much, because they perfect my favourite genre, which is why I respect and rate them. And then there's Headie One, and it's like, fam, like, to hear any of them on the radio, like, Homer and B was like, that song just blew. So, like, I hear why it was on the radio, in the sense of, like, it was like I wasn't too shocked to hear it on the radio, like, it was for that. But, and it's still a big deal that it achieved that. You can make a song for the radio and get no radio plays, so let's not diminish it. Thank you very much. But with both, it was like, this is very much like a drilly type of drill song, like, why is this on the radio, fam? And it was on Hot Radio, because that's what we listened to in the car. Like, I'm not talking about Kiss or Capital, where I would have heard it. It was on Heart, fam. I remember, like, if this is on Heart, was it Heart? It was either Heart or Capital. I might be lying. But nah, I feel like it was Heart. Because we didn't really change the radio in the car like that. So, like, for it to hit Heart Radio is like, that's a big deal, man. Like, a big deal. It really brought tears into my eyes when I first saw it. But yeah, so to be in the studio, and I remember, like, I was there for a while. I'm not gonna lie to you, I was there. I got there at like 4. I left at like 1. Like, I was there the whole afternoon, evening. There was the Formula 1 race on, the Brazilian Grand Prix. I remember I was literally showing Headie, like, how F1 works, and that was a good race to show him, because Mercedes are finally doing well. So, like, everyone in the room, like, shout out Renz as well, from Denz and Renz. They were both there. Dan and Kaz were there. And everyone could tell, even, let's slow down. I was with Denz and Renz, Dan and Kaz. Like, it's just, I just don't really ever slow down and, like, say what is my life at the moment. Like, these lot that I've been rating, like, they do what I do, but on a grander scale, which is exactly what I want to do with my life. They've been doing it, and I'm just baking off with them in the studio with Headie One, and it's like, I just have to give thanks to the Lord. If I can't comprehend it, at least give thanks to the Lord, which is exactly what I've been doing. Yeah, I'm attending church tomorrow. I do mean that. I know it's Sunday, but I'm attending church tomorrow. Because, yeah, the church we go to here, shout out my boy Giwa, but the church we go to here is on a Monday. It's like a student church. So, yeah, but yeah, no, point being, it's like, I just don't really ever slow down. No pun intended, because I'm talking about F1 and how Mercedes are finally doing well. And I was just explaining it. Headie was like, I don't get it, like, kind of, like, explain it. I was like, yeah, like, and I tried to explain it in the sense of, like, how qualifying works and, like, how that affects the race, and then how to do well in the race, and, like, how it's not just who has the fastest car, it's also who's the better driver, which teams have the best strategy, all sorts of stuff. And it was just nuts. Like, I was just sat there on the phone just watching F1, and Headie's just watching with me. It's like, I wish someone could have taken a picture. I would have been so, that would have been my lock screen over the one that it is. Of just watching Lewis Hamilton with Headie One. And that's just a nuts sentence for me to say. And it's like, now I'll wind back to what I was saying earlier, and love if you're still watching this, because this is half an hour. I told you I can talk. Yeah, and it's like, my son is just gonna hear what his dad was doing, but, like, he's not even gonna clock how big of a deal all of this is. Like, in, like, I'm 19, I'm turning 20. Yeah, I'm gonna have a kid within the next 10 years, and it's like, in 10 years' time, Lewis is gonna have retired. Headie One's still gonna be about, by God's grace, and still gonna hold the, because, yeah, I mean, to be fair, hailing from Tottenham in the UK rap scene, there's a lot of pedigree there. There's a lot of precedent to say that he's probably gonna be alright. We've got Skepta, Wiley, Kano, JME, all doing alright, chip, like, yeah, I can't lie, if you're from North and you rap, you're gonna be about for a minute. I don't know what's in the air over there, but they can rap in North. And yeah, by God's grace, he's still around. Lewis Hamilton will still be around, but like he would have retired by then. Messi, Ronaldo would have retired. Like, my son's not gonna clock all these things, but like, maybe if he sees how excited I am to talk about it, he'll clock. And like, when I sit down one day and explain to him why these are such a big deal, like, hopefully the guy will be proud of his father. But back to today, I think, oh no, I missed out the time I saw Digger again in Knots, and he knew who I was. Cause I tried to introduce him. We were backstage at this point, and I tried after the show, and I tried to introduce myself to him. I was like, oh, like, this is what I do. The way he just looked at me, like, bro, like, we watch your videos. I was like, ¿qué? ¿Qué? Which is Spanish for what? ¿Qué? I was like, eh? Focus. Because after I met PS, which was last year, which is what I'm not talking about here, also a very big deal. But yeah, I remember that video of me meeting him just when didn't go viral, but like I remember like Twitter were talking about it for a minute, just saying, oh, why is this guy getting gassed over me and a GM from South? And it's like, fam, first of all, shut up. Second of all, I kind of hear it. Like, there was no decorum that day. I was just so gassed. But it's like, I kind of learned that, if this is going to be a regular thing, when you meet these people, when you meet these rappers that you do listen to every day, and I know it's a big deal, like, remember, like, just keep it calm. Because at the same time, it's like they're meeting you as well. And it comes back into what I was saying about being a content creator. It's like, when I see what the others are doing, like Chunks, Philly, even my boy Billy, it's like, fam, like, being a content creator now, it's an identity. And I'm gonna wrap the video up because England are playing in 3 minutes. So I will stop talking. Don't worry. But I'm rooting for Senegal though. I'm African first. Yeah, African first. Rooting for Senegal. But yeah, as I was saying, it's a thing where it's like, yeah, it's an identity. It's like content creator, influencer, whatever you want to call it. Like, that, you've earned that. You've done well. You've worked hard to be where you are. That's something to be proud of. And it's like, yeah, like, at the same time, whilst I'm meeting them, they're also meeting you at the same time. It's like, that's a not opportunity, but like, yeah, that's like a thing as well. Because like I've been finding out this year, like, they watch the videos. So for them, it's also cool to meet someone in the flesh who they watch online all the time. So yeah, that's just the main thing I've been, as a personal note, just keeping in mind that, like, yeah, when you meet these people, like, by all means, be gassed. And like, I remember when I was leaving the studio, because I was there for like the whole day, I remember like everyone else had left at this point. I was just talking to Heady one-on-one. I was just letting it all out as a fanboy. Like, boy, bro, I'm not going to act like I haven't been gassed for the last 9 hours. Like, fam, I've been listening to your music since I was in school, fam. Like, this is a big deal, fam. Like, I didn't talk like that, but like, I kept it calm. I was going to say I kept it P, freeware soul. I kept it P at all times. I was like, yo, like, yeah, like, this is a big deal. And he was like, oh, I love, bro. Keep doing what you're doing. And it's like, even that small comment, it's like, what do you mean keep doing what I'm doing? What am I doing? What do you know that I'm doing? Wait, you know what I'm doing? It's like, it's just nuts. So, yeah, I'm not going to title this Dear Future Son. I don't know what I'm going to title this. I'll come up with a title during the England game. But yeah, I just kind of want to, just, to be honest, it's just a acknowledgement to myself of the year we've had. It's been a great year, content-wise, and trust me, there's more opportunities lined up. I even forgot to mention the second episode I filmed the mixtape, and it's like, yeah, that's a series now. So that's something to look forward to coming into the new year. You'll be sure to see my face on Mixtape Madness a whole lot more. Any new tapes that come out, let me know. I'll try to tell them that's what the people want to hear, and we'll see how we can go about arranging that. But nah, at the moment, I don't have much input as to what we react to. And to be honest, I like that because it's like a surprise. Like, I pull up, I don't know whose album we're listening to. All I know is I'm happy to be here, mate. I'm just very grateful to be here. So, yeah, man, all in all, yeah, I'm just very grateful to the Lord for the year we've had. And long may it continue, because like I said, this is just the origin story, fam. I referenced Peter Parker earlier. This is just the part where they kill Uncle Ben, if you want to keep it in order of the Spider-Man stuff. I mean, yeah, Uncle Ben's not even dead yet, for context. That's how I want to look at it. So, yeah, exciting times up ahead. I've got plans now. And like I said, it's an identity. So it's like, now I'm kind of setting goals as to like, what I want to accomplish. I feel like this year was a very big year for me on a personal level, kind of acknowledging where I am, who I am, what I am, if I am, why I am, why is Gamora? So yeah, but now in all seriousness, it's just like, yeah, just kind of coming to terms of like what I want to do. Because especially after leaving Cov and selling myself that, yo, it's not a law thing still. It's not a law thing still. It's like, what? Okay, what is it then? Like, if you're not doing law, then what are you doing? The answer is this. So yeah. Thank you very much for watching. Yeah, I mean, I don't really know how to end this video. I mean, just thank you for the support you guys have continued to show me. Like I said, I love meeting you people in person. It's just always fun. There's always something funny you lot want to talk about. And yeah, if you ever see me out and about, just know you can always come shout me. Like, I'm always open to talk to you. I'm probably the most extroverted person you'll ever meet in your life. I don't know how to stay quiet. So if you know who I am, you want to talk about what it is that I do, never shy away from that convo if you ever see me in person, especially if it's out and about in Nottingham, because just being here makes me happy. It's just a very vibesy place. So yeah, man, for now, I've been Saatchi14. Thank you very much for watching. Leave a like if you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you're new. I'll be back again. Shoot.